With Christmas getting closer every day, there's one thing I think I ought to mention. It's this argument we hear sometimes over the radio about whether Christmas nowadays is what it used to be. Some people think it's turned into a money-making affair, what they call being commercialized. Others don't agree. Naturally, the newspapers and the radio stations that make money off advertising, and the merchants with a lot of Christmas goods to sell, and the companies that want to lend people money to buy 'em with, they don't see anything wrong with the way things are going. But other people seem to think it's a bad thing and that Christmas is not what it was years ago. Of course, it's all the way over our heads down here in Pigeon Inlet, and to tell the truth, up till lately, we figured it was none of our business. What other people did with their Christmas in places like St. John's or Toronto, well, there wasn't much we could do to stop 'em. And in any case, it couldn't affect how we regarded our Christmas in Pigeon Inlet. That's what we used to think. And now I'm not so sure. Look what happened to me about 5 or 6 weeks ago. Little Judy Briggs, she's Pete Briggs' youngest. Now, she can't be more than 4 or 5 years old, not started school yet. And she come to my door this day to bring me back a screwdriver I'd loaned Pete the day before. So I asked her to come in while I rummaged around to see if I could find her a candy. My radio was turned on, and she happened to hear what was on it. It was all about this big Santa Claus parade somewhere up on the mainland, and this only the early part of November. Well, after I found the candy, I nearly had to wake her up to give it to her. She was so much interested in the radio, and she looked so sad. I thought she was going to cry. "Uncle Mose," she said, "is that really, truly Santa Claus up there in that place on the radio?" Well, what are you going to tell a youngster that age? So I said to her, "Well, Judy," said I, "what do you think?" "Oh, I think it must be," said she, "'cause they say it is. And they wouldn't tell lies like that over the radio, would they, Uncle Mose?" And again, what could I say? There's a lot she got to learn. But 5-year-old is perhaps a poor time to learn it. But then she said, "Is he coming here this year?" So I said, "Oh, yes, he never failed to come to Pigeon Inlet yet. He'll be here again, Christmas, just wait and see." But she wasn't satisfied. If he was coming Christmas, what was he doing visiting other places about 2 months before Christmas? Did that mean he was going to visit these places twice, and Pigeon Inlet only once? Or worse still, did it mean that he'd give up Christmas and was visiting these big places, getting as far as he could before navigation closed? Now he wouldn't come here at all. Anyhow, if he was up there in Toronto now, and he must be, the radio said so, how could he be up at the North Pole where he was supposed to be getting ready for his Christmas Eve visit to places like Pigeon Inlet? Now, what could I tell her? I'd like to have told the radio something. How if they wanted to pretend that Santa Claus and Christmas come in October or November instead of December, the least they could do was keep it to themselves. Instead of letting it be heard where little people like Judy could get upset by it. And I couldn't tell her the radio was telling lies, but I had to tell her something. So I scratched me head a bit and done the best I could. "Judy," said I, "you know when Santa's birthday is?" "Yes," she said, "Christmas Day, isn't it?" "Right," said I. "And Christmas Day is a special day with Santa on account of it being his birthday. Now," I said, "Judy, you take your own birthday. That's a special day with you, isn't it?" "Oh, yes," she said. "What do you do on your birthday?" said I. "Do you go away to places like Rumble Cove?" "Oh, no," she said, "'cause it's my birthday, I stay home with Mommy and Dad and have my really best friends in with me for a little party." But she said, "I go one place on my birthday. I always go up and visit Grandma every birthday." "Why?" said I. "Oh, because," she said, "now that Grandma's not able to get out of doors anymore and come down to see me like she used to, I've promised her I'll come and see her every year on my birthday. I love Grandma." "But," said I, "you do go to Rumble Cove sometimes." Oh, yes, she said, but not on my birthday. Birthday is for being home with Mommy and Dad and my friends, and visiting Grandma. And Judy said, aye, that's just how it is with Santa Claus on his birthday. That's the day he visits the people he loves, like you visiting your grandmother. Now, other days of the year, you mustn't mind him visiting other places, like the one on the radio. I almost call it Rumble Cove, which would never have done, because actually it is 1,000 times bigger. So if you hear of him being in these places in October or November, or even June and July, because perhaps that's what will come to, the way things are going, don't get upset or worried about it. Don't forget Santa got a birthday, and he's saving that special day for a special purpose, same as you do, to visit the people he loves. And do you know it cheered her up? Only she said she couldn't help feeling a little bit sorry for the places that Santa Claus had to visit on other days besides his own special day, the day he visits Pigeon England, his birthday, Christmas. And come to think of it, I can't help feeling a bit sorry for him too.